Good morning and welcome back to the Mining Stock Daily Morning Briefing, presented by the Clear Commodity Network and delivering today's top news in mining and mineral exploration. From the new ClearCom studios, here's your host, Trevor Hall.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mining Stock Daily Morning Briefing. It is Wednesday, August 26th. And this morning we've got copper setting records in New York, Ontario threatening to cut off energy and critical minerals to the U.S., and gold giving back a bit of ground after a strong run. It is off about 0.8% to $4,622 an ounce. It's a modest pullback after recent strength. Silver is up 0.2% to $68.78. Copper, it gave back a fraction, off about 0.17% to $6.70 a pound. But copper did hit a record in New York overnight and is closing in on all-time highs in London. The driver is the U.S. tariff threat, which has been pulling metal into American warehouses at an accelerating pace, turning what was a comfortable global surplus into a scarcity in markets outside of the United States. Inventory is being redistributed rather than consumed, and the dislocation is raising real questions about where copper goes once those flows slow or reverse. And on the trade front, Ontario Premier Doug Ford escalated the trade war rhetoric yesterday, threatening to cut off electricity and critical mineral exports to the United States in retaliation for President Trump's threats on Canadian autos and steel. It's a significant statement given that Ontario supplies power to New York State and Michigan, and that Canadian critical minerals underpin U.S. manufacturing supply chains. This is the strongest language yet from a Canadian official, and it puts resource and energy supply chains squarely back at the center of the trade standoff. We'll get to the news out of the miners and explorers here in just a moment, but first a quick mention of today's sponsor. Today's morning briefing is brought to you by Equinox Gold. Equinox is North America's new senior gold producer. It's a title that became official in July with the completion of a business combination with Orla Mining, creating a multi-mine gold platform anticipated to produce 1.1 million ounces annually, with a clear pathway to more than 1.9 million ounces through high-quality North American growth projects. Equinox Gold trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange and the NYSE American with the symbol EQX.
Hey everyone, Justin Hune of Uranium Insider here, inviting you to check out the Going Nuclear podcast, co-hosted by yours truly and Trevor Hall and produced by the Clear Commodity Network. Each episode, we dive deep into the uranium sector and the fast-evolving world of nuclear energy and uranium investment. From supply dynamics to policy developments and market trends, we bring you the insights that matter most to energy investors and industry watchers. You can find Going Nuclear on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and at clearcommodity.net. Clear Commodity Network, digital news on the physical markets.
And here's what you need to know this morning. Vizsla Copper has released what it says to be the longest high-grade copper intersection ever drilled at the Woodjam project in central British Columbia. Hole 136 at the Deerhorn deposit returned 266 meters, creating 0.97% copper from a depth of 306 meters, and included 107.7 meters of just over 2% copper and a high-grade core of 48.5 meters of 3.32% copper, 0.23 grams per ton gold, and 16.5 grams per ton silver. It's sitting approximately 100 meters below the existing historical resource model and open in multiple directions. The hole also intersected a near-surface interval of 129.9 meters at 0.3% copper from 70 meters depth. Vizsla Copper trades on the Venture Exchange with VCU and on the OTCQB with VCUFF. More copper exploration results. Koryx Copper has reported results from 19 infill drill holes at the Hybe Copper project in southern Namibia. It was headlined by hole 167, which returned 969 meters, grading 0.27% copper equivalent from surface. It's the longest continuous mineralized intersection drilled at Hybe to date. Other results reported this morning included hole 185 of 236 meters of 0.57% copper equivalent, and hole 177 returning 30 meters of 1.1% copper equivalent from just 8 meters depth. The 8,500 meter infill campaign is nearing completion, and Koryx says results continue to trend to the upside ahead of a mineral resource update expected later this year. They trade on TSX Venture with the symbol KRY and on the OTC QX with KRYXF. Freegold has released additional drill results from its Golden Summit project near Fairbanks, Alaska, as it advanced towards a pre-feasibility study. Hole 2638 returned 143.7 meters, grading 3.59 grams per ton gold from a depth of 758 meters, and there included 3 meters of 141.3 grams per ton gold, associated with visible gold in quartz arsenopyrite veins. Nearby hole 2630 intersected 523 meters at 0.75 grams per ton gold from 385 meters to end of hole and remains open and widening at depth. 6 rigs are currently active across the 29.1 million ounce resource at Golden Summit with a pre-feasibility study targeted for next year. Freegold trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange with FVL and on the OTCQX with FGOVF. K2 Gold has reported results from 613 rock samples at the Morningstar target. It's a 2,000 meter by 800 meter polymetallic corridor in California near the historic Cerro Gordo mine district. Highlights from the Ignacio target returned 2,737 grams per ton silver, 4.37 grams per ton gold, and 2.42% copper. Another returned 1,420 grams per ton silver, 7.4 grams gold, and 1.3% copper. And the newly identified R zone returned 618 grams per ton silver, 23.2% copper. K2 says the program is defining polymetallic drill targets alongside the company's high-grade gold drill program at the east side trend, 7 kilometers away. K2 Gold trades on the venture with KTO and on the OTCQX with KTGDF. Kirkland Lake Discoveries has extended the Murado South zone westward from 2 separate drill collars at KL South in Ontario. Hole 29 returned 2.13 grams per ton gold over 29 meters from a depth of 173 meters, and it included 3.37 grams per ton over 17.5 meters. A deeper hole in the batch, that's hole 28, hit 3.89 grams per ton over 2.14 meters at a depth of 401 meters in the north zone. That extends to approximately 365 meters vertically. 19 holes remain pending. Kirkland Lake Discoveries trades on the venture with KLDC and on the OTCQB with KLKLF. And Firefly Metals announced commitments of $190 million Australian of an equity raise to advance the Green Bay Copper Gold project in Newfoundland. The deal is comprised of 150 million Australian ASX institutional placement and a 29.6 million Canadian bought deal on the Toronto Stock Exchange, both coming in at $1.78 Australian per share, plus a non-underwritten share purchase plan targeting an additional $10 million Australian. The raise follows the preliminary economic assessment for Green Bay, which outlined a pathway to 100,000 tons of copper per annum from a 60.2 million ton measured and indicated resource at 2.43% copper equivalent. The proceeds targeted at early underground development, long lead capital items, a definitive feasibility study, and resource drilling ahead of a final investment decision by mid-2027. Firefly Metals trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange and on the ASX, both with the symbol FFM. All right, that's a wrap here this morning on the Morning Briefing. The Mining Stock Daily Morning Briefing is produced by Clear Commodity Network. It is distributed throughout the world through your podcast network of choice and over at clearcommodity.net. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Be well. The information presented should not be considered investment advice. Mining Stock Daily and its affiliates are not responsible for any loss arising from any investment decision in connection with the material presented herein. Please do your own research or speak with a licensed financial representative before making any investment decisions.